Looked into the edge of the universe, finding galaxies being born, and you could, because it's infrared, it peers through nearby gas clouds.
Humanity appears to have embarked on a monumental and revolutionary journey to unveil the enigmas concealed within space. Thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope, we now have access to high-definition images of structures ranging from Stefans Quintet to the pillars of creation, some dating back millions of years. This revelation has expanded our perception of a boundless cosmos and hidden truths. Curious about the nature of these images? Stay with us as we bring you 20 all-new images taken by the JWST that shock the entire space industry. Number 20. Jupiter in all its glory. Starting with something closer to home, we are looking at a JWST image of Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system. Now, as large and close as Jupiter is to Earth, saying that the JWST just discovered the planet would be absurd. Jupiter as a planet has been studied for quite a while with the help of other telescopes like the Hubble telescope. Still, there was a certain difficulty due to the haze of space dust surrounding the planet. However, the studies became 10 times easier with the Webb telescope. By using the JWST's near-infrared camera to send infrared light data from Jupiter, scientists have been able to get a picture of what lies on the planet. For one, the telescope could show the dusky blue, light pink, and white band covering the planet. There are also the clouds, swirling hazes, and the Great Red Spot, which is said to be a massive storm that has been raging on the planet for centuries. It's only a matter of time before we fully understand the planet's intricate dynamics and mysteries. Number 19. Roofucci Cloud Complex. Looking closely at JWST's shot of the Roofucci Cloud Complex, one might easily mistake it for a complex cloud afloat in space, but it's far from that. While the Roofucci Cloud Complex is referred to as such, it's not merely a cloud. Instead, it's a cloud nursing a cluster of young stars in space. It's due to the jets that emit from these stars that produce the crisscross image that somehow falsifies the true image. These jets also light up surrounding molecular hydrogen, giving off the red color we see in the telescope's image. Scientists have discovered that a few of these stars display the shadow of a circumstellar disk, one that might signify the birth of a planetary system in the future. To support this theory and its possibility, the scientists who captured an image of the Roofucci Cloud Complex also focused on the center of the disks. They found that the young stars bore almost the same mass as the Sun. Therefore, this image allows us to understand planetary evolution on a deeper level. Number 18. Image of faint galaxies. Another image that the Webb telescope has been able to capture over the years is the picture of very faint galaxies. As much as the word faint would describe an unclear image in this context, this particular image goes a long way to depict the superiority the James Webb telescope has over its counterparts. These galaxies have remained unseen over the past decades. It's only recently that the JWST was able to capture them at the North Ecliptic Pole. This image, obtained from the utilization of the near-infrared camera of the telescope, portrays thousands of galaxies covering an unbelievable range of distances, with the one that reaches the farthest regions of the universe said to be the faintest in the image. The image is said to have come from the Prime Extragalactic Areas for Reionization and Lensing Science program, a program in charge of researching the number of interacting galaxies in space. Number 17. The Southern Ring Nebula. Catalogued by NASA as NGC 3132, the Southern Ring Nebula is yet another celestial body that has long been hidden from astronomers until the development and activation of the James Webb Space Telescope. Thanks to the JWST's powerful infrared view, we could tell the progress of the Southern Ring Nebula and the rate at which the stars were dying. Wondering what planetary nebulae are? Well, they are the shells of dust and gas given off or produced by dying stars. According to NASA, after examining the images from the JWST, they believe that the faintly glowing star at the center of the ring is responsible for forming the surrounding rings of dust and gas in the Southern Ring Nebula. It is suggested that this star has been dispersing these rings for more than a millennium, and the presence of the dust rings previously obscured the nebula from older telescopes. The discovery of the Southern Nebula is undoubtedly owed to the capabilities of JWST's infrared technology. Number 16, Cassiopeia A Supernova. The Cassiopeia, which happens to be one of the youngest remnants from a supernova explosion in our galaxy, has long been studied by not just astronomers, but scientists from several fields. Located roughly 11,000 light-years from Earth, it is believed to have been created by an explosion 340 years ago. However, no one knows the true origin of the supernova behind the Cassiopeia, or if any celestial event triggered it. Since the scientists at NASA started to study the infrared images from Cassiopeia, they've been unable to get a well-detailed image due to the several forces and obstacles surrounding the remnant. However, that changed with the JWST. Since capturing a mid-infrared image with the JWST, researchers have not only obtained a detailed depiction of the remnant, but also progressed toward identifying the star type from which the remnant emerged, and understanding the forces driving the supernova. For instance, in the upper left of the bubble, one can observe curtains of material that appear red or orange due to emissions from warm dust. From the star itself, there lies the mottled bright pink filaments in the interior shell shining due to the mixing of the heavy elements. It is a captivating and intriguing spectacle. Number 15. Carina Nebula. In the next image, we come across the Carina Nebula. It is also known to have long been a subject of study by scientists and researchers for a long while now. In the past, these scientists had to rely on the Hubble telescope to study all that was behind the Carina Nebula. Although some distinguished astrophysicists promptly recognized that the Hubble telescope's data regarding the Carina Nebula remained elusive, it was only with the adoption of the JWST that they finally gained access to the information that had eluded them for years. From the image, they saw a landscape of valleys and mountains created by speckles of glittering stars at the edge. Furthermore, Webb's telescope also captures the cosmic cliffs comprising gaseous cavities within the Carina Nebula. It's said that the peak of the images is about 7 light-years high. From this same image, they could also tell that winds and severe ultraviolet radiation carved the hollow area from the nebula. Number 14. The Cartwheel Galaxy. Situated approximately 500 million light-years away within the Sculptor constellation, the Cartwheel Galaxy is one of the extraordinary spectacles deeply unraveled by the JWST. Having a wheel-like appearance that tells stories of a cataclysmic event over the years, it doesn't cease to researchers. Its wheel-like appearance is due to the high-velocity collision between a sizable spiral galaxy and a smaller one. These colossal galactic encounters give rise to intricate interactions that portray the image as we see it. Scientists believe that the shiny core in the image packs a disastrous amount of dust, while the brightest parts still in the same core contain clusters of young stars. While it's said that it took over 400 million years for the outer ring to expand, it shows no sign of relenting whatsoever. There are signs that in the future, the cataclysmic event will continue to make the outer ring expand. Number 13. The moment the DART spacecraft crashes into an asteroid. Now, it's most likely you might be already worried about how a spacecraft crashed into an asteroid, especially if you don't know about the DART test. Well, fret not. Even though we refer to the mechanical component that crashed into an asteroid as a spacecraft, you should know that the IT was unmanned. The crash was completely intentional, as NASA initiated the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART, to learn how to ward off asteroids coming towards Earth, or make them change their trajectory. This specific test aimed to determine the feasibility of utilizing kinetic energy to alter an asteroid's trajectory. Hence, the spacecraft served as a vehicle to generate this kinetic energy, facilitating the practical examination of the theory. Following the deployment of DART, the camera unexpectedly ceased functioning, rendering it impossible to ascertain the mission's success. Nonetheless, the JWST managed to record images of when DART impacted its target, Dimorphos. If we dare to speculate, a triumph such as this potentially signifies a substantial stride toward establishing planetary-level defense measures. Number 12. Uranuss, with his rings. It's true that over the years we've known the planet Uranus to always have a ring surrounding the planet. However, what if we tell you that the ring we've longed to perceive to be a single ring surrounding Uranus is a ring system comprising 13? It's true, and the most recent image from the James Webb Telescope proved it. However, instead of showing the exact 13 rings, the shot image portrayed 11 of the most visible, leaving out the remaining 2 that were faint. It's said that the rings are comprised mainly of dust and rocks, which cannot radiate sunlight. That's why older versions of telescopes were unable to get a proper image. However, seeing that the JWST works on a more sophisticated infrared viewing system, it didn't pose much difficulty. According to scientists, it's only time before the same telescope can capture the remaining 2 faint rings in Uranus's ring system. Number 11. Cosmic dust rising from a binary star system. The binary star in question here is the Wolf-Rayet 140. Known to sit deep within the Carina constellation, this binary system has captivated astronomers for a long time. Thanks to the predecessor telescopes, we learned about the scorching brilliance of the Wolf-Rayet 140, which is enveloped in a swirling nebula of ionized gas and dust. However, the JWST was able to show the shells of cosmic dust given off in space by the binary system. If we are to properly look at JWST's image of the binary system, we are bound to see 17 rings or shells surrounding the system. Scientists say that the shells are a result of the relation between the stars in Wolf-Rayet 140 as they almost come in contact in their orbits. This near contact creates a certain interaction between the star particles and the stellar wind, pushing the shell out into space. The principal investigator of the Webb Early Release Science program believes that the spacing of the rings isn't coincidental, but it happens with clockwork regularity. While that theory is still undergoing validation, Webb's telescope MIRI is used to analyze the chemical compositions and starlight of the shells. Number 10. Stefans Quintet. One particularly intriguing image that stands out is the gigantic mosaic of Stefans Quintet. Notably, the largest image captured by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, Stefans Quintet, spans approximately 1/5 of the Moon's diameter. This image is not a single shot. It's a composite of over 100 million pixels, stitched together from more than 900 image files. Thanks to the JWST's near-infrared camera and mid-infrared instrument, these images were combined to depict the visual grouping of 5 galaxies known as Stefans Quintet. Moreover, the JWST captured luminous clusters of young stars and their nascent origins, likely to give rise to numerous new stars. The image also reveals dust, sweeping tails of gas, and the stars encircling the galaxies, drawn close due to gravitational interactions. This depiction underscores the gravitational interplay between the galaxies within Stefans Quintet and the surrounding material. As research and studies about Stefans Quintet continue to expand, it's merely a matter of time before we unveil the secrets of these 5 galaxies. Number 9. Images of the Tarantula. You might be wondering right now, could a sophisticated telescope such as the JWST have been able to capture an image of a tarantula in space? As exciting as that might sound, that's not the case. As space enthusiasts and researchers must have already figured out by now, the tarantula we are discussing here isn't referring to actual spiders. We are talking about the Tarantula Nebula, also known as Doradus 30. Located 161,000 light-years away in the Large Magellanic Cloud, this nebula is regarded as the brightest star-forming region in the galaxy closest to ours. The Tarantula Nebula got its name from its spider-like shape. However, upon seeing the JWST's image, what we interpreted as a spider shape now appears more like a burrowing tarantula lair adorned with silk. The latest image reveals young stars, dust, and gas within and beyond nebula. This provides scientists with more detailed information to study the spectacular Tarantula Nebula. Number 8. Neptune shows off its rings. Just like Uranus, Neptune also has rings, and the planet wasn't shy to show it off in the most recently captured James Webb Space Telescope's image. Known to be the clearest view of Neptune's ring in decades, this image was released around July 2022. As some would say, due to the Hubble telescope's limited abilities, the telescope couldn't put a ring on it until the arrival of the JWST. The JWST Neptune image wasn't only able to capture the thin rings surrounding the planet, but also showed faint dust bands that have never been seen before. Experts believe these features have remained hidden because the rings reflect light in infrared, one of the properties peculiar to the James Webb Space Telescope. Additionally, there are discussions about astronomers being able to determine the properties of the rings and those of the planet itself by analyzing the ring's reflectivity. It's anticipated that we will soon uncover the chemistry behind the water, methane, and ammonia enveloping the planet's core. Number 7. The central region of the Chameleon. A dark molecular cloud. Going somewhere around 630 light-years from Earth, we'd come across the Chameleon 1 dark molecular cloud. It was only possible to get a proper image of the central region of this cloud due to the glow of an outflowing protostar known as CED 110 IRS-4. It's said that this protostar amidst cold and wispy cloud material was giving off infrared, which the JWST found rather too easy to pick. One of the main things that makes the Chameleon 1 dark molecular cloud interesting is the ice present in the cloud. Scientists believe these ices absorb the starlight, which we see as orange dots in the JWST's image. As research continues, astronomers uncover diverse ices in the darkest regions of the cloud. With this discovery, it's only a matter of time before they unravel the mysteries behind more complex molecules and their key role as building blocks of life. Number 6. Phantom Galaxy. Next, we consider an image shot at 32 million light-years away from Earth. We are talking about the M74, also known as the Phantom Galaxy. This galaxy is popularly known because of its defined spiral arms. However, what makes it special is that its spiral arms are more defined and prominent than other spiral galaxies. Thanks to the JWST, we could look beyond the spirals to glimpse the delicate filaments of dust and gases as they wind outwards from the galaxy's center. Moreover, it was also possible to get a clearer view of the Phantom Galaxy's nuclear star cluster at the center. This was because there was no gas around the nucleus to block the imaging of the JWST. Apparently, for the Phantom Galaxy, the goal has always been to use the outcome of events happening in this galaxy to understand the earliest phases of star formation. And with JWST's mid-infrared instrument, things have become way much easier. It's only a matter of time before the international body responsible for the observations gets what they want. Number 5. Galaxy clusters at warping spacetime. Get over here, Einsteinians, as this image might have finally revealed an important clue about Albert Einstein's theory of warping space and time. The JWST delivered this image of what appears to be a deep field image bearing thousands of galaxies as old as time in July 2022. We wouldn't say that the fascinating fact about this image is the galaxies. No, it's how they appear to be awkwardly warped and twisted. While this caused quite a stir initially, it was later that astronomers could understand the phenomenon behind the look of the galaxies. It is caused by a phenomenon called gravitational lensing. It turns out that a century ago, Albert Einstein himself had made a few remarks on the phenomenon. Little did we know that the JWST could understand what the genius was discussing today. Einstein showed the phenomenon as relating to general relativity in his theory. In his theory, he said that gravity emerges from the effect that objects with mass have on the fabric of space and time, united as a single entity called SpaceTime. In other words, the greater the mass, the more an object warps spacetime, with objects such as galaxies and galaxy clusters causing an extreme warping of spacetime. Hence, the reason behind the galaxy clusters shot by JWST. Number 4. Fiery hourglass image. The jaw-dropping image you are looking at is the fiery hourglass image caught by the JWST. Getting its name from its shape, this magnificent fiery hourglass-shaped celestial body is the product of the birth of a star known as the protostar L1527. The JWST could only capture the star's birth in this stunning color because the blazing cloud around it is visible in infrared light. The protostar lies in the middle of these clouds and is said to be responsible for generating the clouds that disperse to form an hourglass shape. Aside from that, astronomers also linked the different colors surrounding the star with the space dust around the star and close to the Webb telescope. You should know that the star in question is only about 100,000 years old. However, due to its intensity and brightness, it was categorized under Class 0 protostars. a category belonging to stars that take a long time before they become full-fledged stars. Number 3. Webb's Pillars of Creation. It's impossible not to have heard about the Pillars of Creation now. Ever since its discovery, there have been many theories and myths about this celestial body. However, what does NASA's James Webb Telescope have to say? Well, for one, the JWST has ruled out that the pillars are likely to be a product of majestic rock formations. It turns out that the pillars consist of cool interstellar gases and dust instead, hence why the telescope got a better picture in infrared. Then, numerous infant stars are lying right in the dust clouds. Seated 7,000 light-years in the constellation Serpens, it's safe that the Pillars of Creation is one of the most beautiful shot images by the JWST. Number 2. Galaxy Get-Together. Over to the constellation Delphinus, 500 million light-years, and close to the equator, we'd find a pair of galaxies popularly known as 2ZW96, or Galaxy Get-Together. This image depicts a pair of galaxies coming to merge. This gives them their distorted shape, as seen in the video. It's said that these merges result from the connection between the two galaxies' cores. The galaxies are linked by tendrils where the star forms, and the spiral arms of the galaxies get drawn in by the variation in gravitational pull. Like several of the images caught by the JWST, it was only possible to get an image of the galaxy get-together to its visibility at the infrared wavelengths. As the star is formed, it gives off space dust and other materials that become a target for the Webb telescope to pick. Do you think the two galaxies will one day merge to form one galaxy? Well, only time will tell. Number 1. Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Brace yourselves, as this image by the Webb telescope might have finally proved that extraterrestrial life exists. We are talking about Titan, the moon with a dense atmosphere, which shares many similarities with Mother Earth. Surprisingly, it turns out that Titan has seas, lakes, and rivers, just like we do on Earth. Even though the atmosphere comprises hydrocarbons like ethane and methane, there are still hints of water that might support life other than ours. Thanks to the infrared vision of the JWST, we've finally been able to pierce the thick haze that has surrounded this moon for years. As it stands, researchers are using the images from the planetary body to learn about the gaseous composition on Titan and the weather patterns in the region. Maybe, if we are lucky, we just might find aliens shortly. Thanks for watching. Check out the video you see on your screen right now. It's unbelievable.